Hi everyone, it's Veronica from Blue Star Crochet. Welcome to my channel and thanks so much for joining me today. If you're looking for a fun, beginner-friendly crochet project, you're in the right place. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this cute little bag charm. It's perfect for decorating your backpack, your purse, or even giving as a handmade gift. This project is super quick, is super simple, and a great way to use up some leftover yarn. So we're going to crochet this beautiful little square with the 3D popcorn stitch flower in the middle. So whether you're brand new to crochet or whether you're looking for quick, easy, relaxing crochet project, I'm going to guide you through the process step by step. So grab your hook, let's have a look at the materials that we'll need and let's get started. And here are the materials that we will need to complete our crochet bag charm. So I'm going to be using the King Cole Giza cotton 4-ply. So this is a beautiful yarn to work with. I've made quite a few projects with this one. This is 100% Giza mercerized cotton, and we've got 158 meters, 175 yards in a 50-gram ball. This is the color powder, but it comes in so many various colors that you can choose from, whatever matches your style or matches your bags. So that's King Cole Giza cotton 4-ply. One ball will be plenty to make more than one bag charm. I'm also going to be using a 3mm crochet hook. I've got some scissors, I've got a needle to sort out the ends. I also have got some wooden beads. Now these are completely optional, but I think they just finish off the bag charm really nicely and add that little bit of boho feel to it. So these are 12mm wooden beads. I got mine off Amazon, but I will link to the ones I got, and I've got a couple there. Of course you can use one if you want to, you can use more than two. It's totally up to you, you can customize it. And if you were wondering what on earth have I got this little notebook for, this is for making tassels. If you do have a tassel maker, by all means use your tassel maker, but it's really easy to make tassels around something with a consistent size. So we're going to wrap the yarn around this notebook and then cut it and make it into a tassel. So all you need is something with a consistent size that we can wrap the yarn around and you'll be totally fine. So that's our materials that we will need. Let's get into making our beautiful little squares. Okay, so to start making our bag charm, at first we're gonna need to make two little squares. The first one starts, well, they both actually do, because they're exactly the same. So they start with a magic circle. So I'm gonna take the yarn and I'm gonna wrap it around my finger like this until I have three kind of strands around my finger. Then I'm gonna take my hook and insert it under the first two loops. And I'm going to grab hold of the third one and pull it under the other two. And this is the working yarn. Then I wiggle it off of my finger and chain through just to fix this magic circle so we can work into it. Okay, so this is the finished magic circle. Okay, what we're going to do now is chain one. Now this chain one doesn't count as a stitch. And I'm going to work 8 single crochet into the magic circle. Okay, so just insert your hook through the middle, yarn over, pull through. I've got 2 loops on a hook, then yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's our first single crochet, and I'm now going to work 7 more, so we've got 8 in total at the end. Okay, so that's number 2, 3, 7 and 8. Okay, so that's 8 single crochets that we worked into the magic circle, and now we need to close the magic circle. So when you look at these strands here, we've got the tail end. Okay, we've got the tail end here, and as you can see, one of the, if I just slightly pull on the tail end, one of these loops is jumping up to the top, this one there, and one is staying at the bottom. Okay, so just gently lift the tail end and you can see which one is at the top, and which loop is at the bottom. So it's the bottom one we want to pull on first, okay? So I'm going to pull on the bottom one first, which tightens up the other one. And now we've got just one loop and our tail end like this, and I'm just going to pull on the tail end and that will close the other loop. Now we're going to slip stitch into our first single crochet, which is this one here. So I'm just going to insert my hook under both loops, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on the hook like this to slip stitch to join our 8 single crochets into a round. So second round consists of a round of popcorn stitches, and we're going to work them together. So popcorn stitches are basically working 5 double crochets into the same stitch and then removing the loop and kind of looping the stitches together through the first one. But let's do that together so we're not confused. So to start my first popcorn stitch, I'm going to work the standing double crochet. So I'm going to extend my loop like this. And I'm going to place my finger onto this loop and do not let go until your stitch is finished. Then I'm going to loop the hook around towards me, and I've got 2 loops on the hook. I'm going to insert my hook into that first single crochet, yarn over, pull through, still holding on to that loop. And as you can see, I've got 3 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so this is our first standing double crochet finished. And now I'm going to work 4 more double crochets into that very same stitch. Okay, so still in that first stitch. Okay, so I've got yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the standard double crochet. So I've got 4 stitches and I need 1 more right in that same first single crochet. And now as you can see, I've got 5 double crochets all together. Now I'm going to remove the loop from my hook and I'm going to insert my hook under both loops of that first standing double crochet like this. Then I'm going to place this loop back onto the hook and just slightly tighten it down, pull it through that first loop and chain 1. Okay, and as you can see, that kind of cinches the stitches together and creates this 3-dimensional popcorn stitch. Okay, now to separate the popcorn stitches, we're going to chain 2. So this is a chain 2 space. Now the first chain I did doesn't count as a stitch really, it's just to fix that slip stitch in position so our stitch holds together. So I chained 2 and this is the chain 2 space we're going to create. And now I'm going to concentrate on the next single crochet, and again I'm going to work 5 double crochets into the next single crochet. So that's yarn over, insert and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now I need to repeat that 4 more times until I have 5 double crochets worked all in that same stitch like this. And again, remove the loop from my hook and let's have a look and insert through the first stitch, pop the loop back onto your hook and pull it through to cinch the top. Then chain through to fix it, and again chain 2 to create a chain 2 space, and concentrate on the next single crochet where we're going to create another popcorn stitch, and this is basically the repeat that we're going to repeat all the way around. Okay, so there's just 1 popcorn stitch, chain 2, popcorn stitch in next, and so on until we're going to go all the way around. Okay, so this is where we are at the moment. We're going to go all the way around and use all 8 single crochets, which means that at the end we'll have 8 popcorn stitches that are separated with 2 chain spaces that are better seen on the back. Okay, that's the 2 chain spaces, but it is these 2 chain spaces that we're going to be working into on the next round. Okay, so go ahead and work all the way around all these 8 single crochets, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. And here we are at the end of round 2. As you can see, I worked all my popcorn stitches and the last chain 2 space, and I just wanted to kind of take you a bit closer to the popcorn stitch. So it says to slip stitch into the top, so it's literally just that little loop at the top that we kind of joined together the stitches. Okay, so just slip stitch there like this to join it. Okay, to start round 3, now like I said, we're going to work through these 2 chain spaces that are kind of popping to the back. So I'm going to slip stitch into that first 2 chain space, and round 3 consists of V stitches, 1 V stitch into each 2 chain space. Okay, so let's work the first one. Again, I'm going to start with standing double crochet. Okay, so place your finger on the loop, twist it around, insert and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now we're gonna chain 2 and work another double crochet into the same 2 chain space, and that means that we have created our very first V stitch there. Then we're going to skip the popcorn stitch and concentrate on that 2 chain space in between, and we're going to work double crochet, chain 2 and double crochet. And this is basically simple repeat all the way around. So next 2 chain space, again work another V stitch, so that's double crochet, chain 2 and double crochet, and go ahead and repeat it all the way around your little circle at the moment. Round number 4, we're gonna turn the circle into a square by creating 4 sharp corners. So go ahead and I'll meet you back. And here we are at the end of the round. I simply slip stitch into the top of that first standing double crochet to join my round. And one thing I wanted to say, if at the moment is looking like a little bowl, it's kind of coming up like this, don't worry about it, it will sit flat. Trust the process. So let's go ahead and start on round number 4. As I said, we're going to turn this circle into a square. So firstly, we slip stitch into the first standing double crochet of the round. So I'm going to chain 1, which doesn't count as a stitch, and work 1 single crochet into that very first stitch. Okay, so that's first single crochet, and then we've got the 2 chain space of that V stitch, and into this V stitch we're going to work the first corner. So we're going to work 2 single crochet into that first 2 chain space like this, then we're going to chain 2 and we're going to work another 2 single crochets into that very same 2 chain space like this, and that's our first corner created there. Then I'm going to work 1 single crochet into the double crochet, so the second double crochet of that V stitch, single crochet into the next double crochet, then that brings me onto the next 2 chain space of that V stitch, and I'm going to simply place 2 single crochet into the next one, then work single crochet into the next double crochet, and again single crochet into the next double. Okay, and now we're gonna create another corner into this 2 chain space into this V stitch. So again, that's 2 single crochet, chain 2 and 2 single crochet like this. Okay, then again 1 single crochet into each of those next 2 double crochets like this. That brings me onto the next 2 chain space, so that's just a standard 2 single crochet into that one. Okay, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 double crochets, which brings me onto the next 2 chain space, and it's the one we're going to create a corner into. So that's 2 single crochet, chain 2 and 2 single crochet like this. Okay, so we've got our 3 corners created so far, and let's go and create the next one. So single crochet in the double crochets, then 2 single crochet into the next 2 chain space, and again into each of those next 2 double crochet stitches, which brings us on to the next 2 chain space, which is the corner one. So 2 single crochet, chain 2 and 2 single crochet. Then we're gonna go into the double crochet stitches, which brings us onto the last 2 chain space, and we're gonna finish off with 2 single crochets, and let's not forget the last double crochet there, and we're gonna slip stitch into that first single crochet we worked. Okay, so here we are. If I show you like this, here we are turning the little square into turning a circle into a square. What is wrong with me today? So we've turned that little circle into a square. Okay, so you can see that the puff stitches are puffing up, they're popping out, so it's a bit of a like a 3D little puff flower in the middle, which is great. And I just wanted to say, if you got a little bit confused, so we've got the 1 V stitch is where we work a corner. Then in the next V stitch is a standard 2 single crochets. Then another V stitch is a corner, standard V stitch, corner 1, standard V stitch, corner 1, standard V stitch, and back to the corner 1. So we are creating a corner into every other V stitch. Okay, so they're alternating. So corner, normal 1, corner, normal 1, corner, normal 1, corner, normal 1. If you wanted to mark out the V stitches where you're going to place the corners first with stitch markers, by all means do that if you find that easier. Okay, and now for the very last round, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch, and in those corner 2 chain spaces we're going to turn the corner by working 1 single crochet, 2 chain and 1 single crochet. So let's chain 1 to start the round, which doesn't count as a stitch, and then single crochet into each stitch all the way up until the corner. So that's 3 stitches there. And then into that corner 2 chain space, we're going to work single crochet. We're going to chain 2 to turn the corner. And we're going to place another single crochet into that corner 2 chain space. And then don't forget to pull this back a bit, because the last single crochet, the top loops, could get hidden by working that last single crochet there. So single crochet into each stitch all the way across until we reach the next corner 2 chain space. So each side of this little square now will have 12 single crochet stitches across. Okay, so there we are, and we're gonna go 1 more in there, and we've got the 2 chain space. So again, 1 single crochet, 2 chain and single crochet. Okay, and that's basically your repeats to go ahead. So work 1 single crochet all the way across, and into that corner space work single crochet, 2 chain, single crochet, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. Okay, and here is our tiny teeny square finished. So if I bring you closer, so I finished the last round, then I slip stitch into the first stitch and fastened off. So I've got these 2 ends to now sort out with my needle. So I'm going to sew them in, but don't cut the ends off, because I'm just going to pop this little square onto a blocking board just to give it a nice stiff shape. And then we need to make a second square, or if you want to go 3 squares long, by all means do 3, but I'm just going to do a couple of squares, and then I'm going to show you how to join the squares together, how to add those little wooden bead, and we're going to make a tassel for the bottom as well. Of course, if you wanted to just keep it smaller and use one square, by all means skip making the next square and move on to adding the beads and adding a tassel at the very end. Okay, now our squares are done. Now we need to move on to making our tassel. So I'm going to just slide this over out of the way, and as I said, for the tassel, if you've got a tassel maker, use that one. If you don't, a smaller notebook or a piece of cardboard you can cut to size will absolutely do. And what we're going to do is just wrap the yarn around whatever you've got, notebook, piece of cardboard. So I'm just going to keep wrapping around as many times as you want to, for however thick you want your tassel to be. So we're just going to keep wrapping round. And obviously this is how long your tassel will be. Give it kind of a centimetre or half a centimetre shorter just to trim it. But choose or cut your cardboard to the size you want it to be for the finished tassel, okay? Because we're going to keep these strands of yarn in half like they are. Okay, so I think I'm happy with the thickness of the tassel like this. I'm just going to cut the yarn there. And what I'm going to do now is cut a length of yarn like this. And I'm going to slide it underneath those strands. Slide it to the top. And we're going to just make a knot here at the top, okay, to hold our yarn together like this. So just right at the top. And this is as tight as you can. You probably need someone to place your finger on there if you don't want the knots to fall apart. But as tight as you can, just tie a double knot up the top. Here we go, like this. Okay, right, let's take it off this little planner, little notebook. Let's take it off like this. Okay, so this is, it's kind of loops of yarn at the moment. So what we need to do is cut the bottom open. Okay, so let's slide our scissors through the loops and just snip like this. Okay, so here is the start of our tassel, and we'll need another length of yarn, and what we're going to do is place it down. I'm going to pop the tassel on top just to create that kind of head wherever you want it to be, about up here. And again, we're going to tighten it down so it's nice and plump. Hold your knot and double knot it so it's not falling apart. Like this. There we go. And what I normally do with these strands with the knot, I don't cut them off short. What I do is I'm going to pop them, well, you could do with the hook I suppose, but I pop them onto the needle. And what I normally do is just kind of go with the needle inside through that loop and pull them back out at the bottom like this. Okay, so they go kind of inside your tassel. And then we just trim them to length. So don't cut them too short like this. Okay, so this is our tassel that we're gonna use for our bag charm. And now, like I said, it's pretty much up to you. How I imagine that the bag charm is to have the square at the top. We're gonna create the loop here and pop the bead on the loop there, and then you could pop a bead down here and attach your tassel for like a shorter charm like this. If you want it slightly longer, slightly bigger, sort of bit of a statement, you could add the other square here, add another bead, and then add the tassel at the bottom like this. So you could have a double square. So it's totally up to you how you want to arrange, how big you want your charm to be. If you want it slightly longer, add the other square. If you want it to be slightly shorter, you could just leave the other square out and just do it with the one square like this. So it's totally up to you. And we're going to have a little loop up the top to obviously attach the charm to the bag. So I think I'm going to go for the single one for now. You could also trim the tassel down a little bit shorter, so it's totally up to you. But I'm going to save this other square and I'm going to make another charm that I'm going to probably gift away to someone, one of my friends. So let's go ahead and create the loop up the top. Okay, if you wanted to go the extra mile for your bag charm and make it kind of reversible, so because let's be honest, the bag charm is going to spin on your bag, so if you've got the right side and the wrong side, chances are you will be showing the wrong side at certain times. So what I've done is I've got two squares here, okay, and I'm just attaching them with the wrong sides together, right sides facing out. And to attach them, I'm simply going through the back loop only of each of the stitches and slip stitching them together. Okay, so this attaches them super neatly together, and this way, as I said, you will have nice and neat bag charm that if it spins on your bag, it really doesn't matter, because it's always going to have that little popcorn flower on the outside. Okay, so that's just another idea. If you wanted to make two squares, you can simply attach them together, and once I finished, I'm gonna have the tassel, the bag charm is gonna be reversible, so there's not gonna be kind of wrong side to it. It's gonna look exactly the same whichever way it kind of spins on your bag, because let's be honest, it will, won't it? So I'm gonna go ahead and attach this little square just to make my bag charm reversible. So that's another idea. If you don't want to have kind of two squares long tassel, just attach your squares together all the way around for reversible tassel this way. To create the loop for our bag charm is super easy. I'm just gonna insert my hook into the corner 2 chain space, and I'm gonna join my yarn in there like this, and all I'm going to do for the loop is just chain. Okay, so chain as many as you want to for your loop. Okay, so I've done 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Obviously you need to then fold it in half, so make sure that you've got enough chain stitches. 15. So that's 20. Okay, so if I fold the 20 in half, that's perfect length for me. So I'm going to slip stitch back into that 2 chain space, and I'm going to fasten off, okay, like this. So that's our top loop finished. Okay, of course we'll have to sort those couple of ends out, but there is nothing we can do. And then you could just pull the bead onto that top loop like this. Oh, I don't want to break my hook. Oh, there we go. So that's the bead up the top here, because obviously when you loop this on a bag, that bead will be secure, because yes, it can fall off at the moment, but once we loop this over a bag, it will be secure. Okay, and now what we're going to do is connect our tassel to the bottom. Okay, but first I'm going to pop this bead onto the tassel, so just to both of the strands from the tassel from the top like this. Okay, and now what we're going to do is join the tassel through the 2 chain space at the bottom, or on the opposite corner to where we created the loop. Okay, so I'm going to insert my hook from the back to the front, grab the 2 strands, pull it through to the back, okay, like this. And now it's just the kind of question of attaching this these strands. So we're just gonna tie a quick knot around there so we don't move. And the best thing we can do is grab a needle and sew these ends in on both sides, so that will be the most secure knot. So I'm gonna go through here just to sew it, just to kind of fix it into position a couple of times like this. And then, as I said, just sew those ends in up and down the side of your square, the same way you would be sewing your ends on any other project. And this will stop the tassel obviously coming off, falling off. Okay, so I'm going to finish off sewing on these ends, and I'll meet you back when the charm is all finished. And as you can see, my bag charm is all finished, everything is attached. I have also sewn in all the ends on the other side, and as you can see, the flower is pretty 3D, standing out really nicely. So I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. I think it's a really cute and quick accessory that you can make for yourself for the summer months, or you can make them as a gift if you are running a market stall. These would be super quick to make as a stock filler. So I hope you enjoyed the video tutorial. If you have, then please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and turn the notifications on so you get a notification every time I upload a new video or new tutorial. And all that's left to say, thank you for watching. Until next time.